The Mission One program, of which I have the privilege of being the coordinator and have been since 2015, received its beginning in 1994 when then it was known as the MVP program, the Mission Volunteer Program. Charlie Carr, the director of General Baptist International Ministries, felt the need for General Baptist to have an organized effort in sending teams to other parts of the world. And so Bob and Ruth Brockett were the first MVP coordinators. And in 1995, the first team was taken to Honduras. There have been so many teams that have taken to all of our international fields. And people quite often will ask, how do you know if the trip has been successful? You see, it's more than checking off a bucket list. It's more than having the desire to travel. And what we try to do in the Mission One program is we have 7 standards. Now, they're taken from the Standards of Excellence program that we're a part of, we're associate members of. And our belief and their belief is that there are 7 standards that have to be met for a team to be successful. The first standard, by design, is the trip. The short-term mission trip must be God-centered. It must seek first God's kingdom and His glory. We must center on God. We must have persistent prayer as part of before the trip and during the trip and after the trip, which, by the way, there are 3 different groups of people that are involved in a mission trip. They're the goers, those that go on the trip, but they're also the senders and the receivers, those that are on the field. So the first standard is God-centered. The second is to have empowering partnerships. You see, a healthy, successful short-term mission establishes interdependence and ongoing relationships between the people who are going and the people who are receiving. For example, we have to have that partnership with the pastors in Honduras if we're going to minister in their region, or with Joyce and the people at General Baptist Bible College in the Philippines, or the pastors in Mexico if we're going to go and minister to them. And so we must have that empowered partnership. So God-centered, empowered partnerships. Third is what is called mutual design. You see, an excellent short-term mission trip plans each outreach for the benefit of everyone. You see, it's not just to make us feel good about ourselves. If we're going to plan an outreach event, for example, in the Philippines or Honduras, or Niger for that matter, or any of our fields, we have to make sure that it benefits the people there really more than even it benefits us. It's not, you see, we don't go on the trip so we can feel good about ourselves, but we go to come alongside the people there on the field, the receivers. So God-centered, empowering partnerships, mutual design. Fourth is a comprehensive administration. You see, we have to be upfront about the fact that it costs money to go on the trips, and so we are truthful in that cost, and we must be appropriate in sharing with people the risks that are involved. That's why some trips at times have been canceled. That's why trips this year were canceled because of the COVID virus, or if there has been civil unrest. So if you are going to go on a trip with us, we're going to make sure we're safe as you can. We have that importance placed upon us. And so comprehensive administration. So God-centeredness, empowering partnerships, mutual design, comprehensive administration. Next, qualified leadership. The team leader, the team participants are important, but the team leader has to receive adequate training. They have to be of high character. Number 6 is appropriate training, and that goes with the team leader, but also the team participants. We have culture link training that we make available to every one of our teams. We have a couple books called When Helping Hurts and Serving with Eyes Wide Open that we encourage team leaders to read and use with their teams, because the teams need to be trained. They need to know ahead of time what's going to be happening. Part of that training also is I think teams need to prepare spiritually. You see, in the early parts of preparing for the trip, it's all about fundraising, raising money. But a team that's not prepared spiritually for the trip is going to struggle. And for many people, they would think, okay, God-centeredness, empowering partnerships, mutual design, comprehensive administration, qualified leadership, appropriate training. Okay, the trip's over, that's it. But the seventh, and quite honestly, quite often neglected, is thorough follow-through. You see, you have to debrief. You have to discuss, okay, as a result of this trip, how are we going to be changed? Again, don't go on a trip because it's on your bucket list. Don't go on a trip because you like to travel. But you go on that trip to empower others. And I would say this, if you go on a mission trip and you come back to your local church and you're not involved in that local church and that local church's ministry to the community, then I think that mission trip has been a failure. Because you see, it's not just a matter of going over there and helping someone or just staying here and helping someone, but it's as we are going to help others. So I want to encourage you. Pray about going on a mission trip. Maybe you need to lead a mission trip. And contact me. You can contact me at jim.pratt@generalbaptist.com. We'll be gearing up with our teams internationally by next year, maybe a couple this fall. But even stateside, we want to come alongside of you and work with you in helping you go through these mission trips. But we're going to make sure we follow those 7 standards of excellence. We're going to make sure we do everything we can to help you prepare for that trip. But we want you to be impacted, and we want you to impact others for the cause of Christ. Again, we encourage you to contact us if you'd like to be involved in reaching others through mission trips.